want to play no music or nothing? I'm good. I'm good. We may as well because we late anyway. It's all good. What's going on, B-More? What's up? Get this scripture breakdown class hopping, man. You know what I'm saying? We late anyway. You know what I mean? With no further ado, you understand? We're going to kick it off, man. We're going to kick it off with everything that's going on in the world right now and in the news pertaining to our people. Because the Isupkbmore, we've been on the corners, we've been on the internet, the airways, the TV, trying to explain to our people all this time that we are in captivity, we are being exploited, and there is a people that is not only our enemy, but our potential destruction, man. We've been putting this out since 1969. And with all the recent events, who can say that it's not true? Who now can say, racism don't exist? Police brutality, that was in the past. Them killing, that was in the past. You behind the times. You got to get with the times. Nobody can say that no more, man. Nobody can say that there ain't no problem here. That there's not a spiritual issue. There's not an emotional issue. There's not a cultural issue. There is issues on a DNA level between us and these people, man. I don't think anybody can refute that right now. Or you're just being an idiot. Why after 400 years of slavery, brutality, oppression, and it's still going on, it's still happening. After all the advances that have been made in technology, all the going to the moon, and all the democracy talk and the freedom talk, and we being exploited just like we were the first day we walked on the shores of the United States of America. Testing, 1, 2. Is this mic on? 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, select. All right. Let's get Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. Ecclesiastes 7 and 7, brother. Go ahead when you're ready.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
Surely, not maybe. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. This is why brothers out in the street protesting and rocking, because we just saw the brutal oppression and murder of a couple of our brothers on live TV. All right, we saw George Floyd, which was an outrageous murder, man. And they on TV, as lawyers on TV, trying to convince us that we saw a suicide instead of a homicide, man. And doing a poor job at it. Like, all of us know that that was a murder. That was an egregious murder, man. We've witnessed a police officer walk into a man's house while he watching TV, eating some goddamn ice cream. Like, we can't even be in our house eating some damn ice cream and was gunned down. A oopsie. I went in the wrong house. Oops. And here we got a woman that said another oopsie. I was supposed to pull the taser, but I pulled out my gun and I shot somebody, and I shot the young brother. That never happens with a white person or a Chinese person. They only mistake that gun for that taser when it involves black people. Let me finish that up, brother.
And the gift destroyeth the heart.
A gift destroyeth the heart, man. A gift destroyeth the heart. Understanding what that is so very important. You understand? Crack is a gift that destroyeth the heart, man. Crack, look. They give us crack to make a living because a lot of us are unable to get gainful employment. We're either, it may be a so-called illegal, our status ain't right, or we have some type of criminal record. So they'll flood the dope into our community. And then when the dope is in our community, they'll say, well, we're going to bring in the police so we can get all of this crime out of your community that was caused by this dope. So we're going to help you. We're going to help your neighborhood. And we've all found out that over the years, that aggressive policing has caused more crime to continue to happen. See, this is what we don't understand. That right here in Baltimore, the most heavily patrolled neighborhoods are the neighborhoods that have the most crime, year after year, decade after decade. All right? The more stress that a community is under, the less funding coming into a community, the more you're going to have crime. When you have stop and frisk, you have the people in the community afraid on all sides, man. When you have fathers missing from the homes, mothers on drugs missing from the home, you're going to have more crime. When you have the police taking those people out of the life of a person growing up, you're going to have more crime. How do we know this? Our DA, who is Marilyn Mosby, at the time of the pandemic, she stopped allowing them to prosecute low-level crimes like laundering, possession, low-level, non-violent crimes. And guess what? Violent crime went down measurably when she did that. The city had a little bit of relief off of the exploitation and the terror by the police that's going on in the city. It's an article about it. John Hopkins wrote a piece about it. I'm a little late, so I ain't gonna get into that. But they give us these gifts of welfare. And by us thinking it's a gift, it's a good thing, we go into it just to find out that they set us up to be destroyed by something else. This is warfare that's been going on since biblical times, man. Our enemies are spoken of in the Bible, lined up in the Bible. We just don't understand and know who they are. We think that them steel blue eyes, them bright blue big eyes, and that pale skin is something special, something unique. It is not. It is not, brother. That blood showing forth through that skin is something good. Brother, it's not. It's something evil. Something very evil in the Bible. You got something? A gift. A gift that destroys the heart. All of these gifts destroyed that we think is good, that we think is profitable. It destroys us, man. We're going to go into some of these murders, man, because it's very important to analyze how they destroy us in the streets and how it comes down generation after generation, man. And we blame ourselves. Well, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. Black men have a certain level of manhood and pride about themselves. No one wants to be constantly stopped, beaten, smacked, made to get on the ground, handcuffed unjustly, treated brutally, terrorized. No one wants to be treated that way, man. Well, don't run from the police. Some brothers ain't run fast enough.
Right.
We continue to blame ourselves over the decades. It's because of this tactic of terror that has made us not want to stop on a dark street with a police officer. Like, white people can't understand that. Why would you not want to stop? The police are there to help you. No. The police are there to corral us, to keep us in certain spaces, to terrorize us, to keep us in our place. That's what the police are there for as concerning black people. There's an obvious difference in the way the two groups of people are being treated. You know, the lies and the BS got to stop. Stop letting the oppressors' culture and community sway us into thinking that it's our fault. Because every goddamn time they murder one of us, it's because he was doing drugs. Oh, he ran. If you ain't got a scratch of a damn police record like Philip Castile, he had a legal firearm. He was legal in every way, a damn preschool teacher. Well, he was arrogant. He kept reaching when the police said not to reach. That's a lie. It's all a lie. It's all propaganda put out there to justify the terror and the murder that they do to black people, man. How in the hell can it be that all of these white terrorists are going up in businesses and Walmarts and whatever store they want, murdering everybody with automatic weapons, and they don't even get searched? They don't even get searched. They have the full proxy of their rights. If they don't get killed, they fully armed to the teeth, have demonstrated their willingness to murder, have murdered. Just the recent one, he murdered a police while in flight, and they still brought him in alive and unharmed. That doesn't happen to us. Let's get the first video of this young brother, Dante Wright. You know what I'm saying? Early 20 years old, man. We don't have the first part of when, you know, the confrontation that happened before they stopped him, but it was supposedly over some air freshener he had hanging from his rear view, which the police say would obstruct vision, which is only a reason for them to stop us. They have all of these little laws so that they can stop us for ridiculous reasons you ain't have on a turn signal. They're like vagrancy laws or black codes that they used to have. You understand? They'll lock you up for vagrancy. You ain't got a job. Or you ain't got a note from a white employer, so we can lock you up, search you, exploit you, terrorize you. These are the same type of laws they have today. You understand? You got that loaded up? Let's find out about Dante and what happened to him. I mean, I know everybody know, but we're going to go into it a little bit more, and we're going to go into the Bible, man, and find out why it is the way it is. Go ahead, brother, you can start that.
As you can hear, the officer, while struggling, taser several times. That part of the officer's training prior to deploying a taser, which is a less lethal device. That is done to make her partners aware, as well as the subject, that a taser deployment will be imminent. During this encounter, however, the officer drew their handgun instead of their taser. For informational purposes, we train with our handguns on our dominant side and our taser on our weak side. So if you're right-handed, you carry your firearm on your right side and you carry your taser on the left. As I watch the video and listen to the officer's commands, it is my belief that the officer had the intention to deploy their taser, but instead shot Mr. Wright with a single bullet. This appears to me, from what I viewed and the officer's reaction and distress immediately after, that this was an accidental discharge that resulted in the tragic death of Mr. Wright.
Just let me know when it's at the end.
Hi, I'm a new
back
customer and I want your best new smartphone deal.
Well, I'm an existing customer and I'd like your best new smartphone.
Click it to stop it. Yeah, okay, that's what's up. That's what's up, the water. So we saw the little breakdown of that, right? So let me explain that. Let me explain that a little bit deeper. First and foremost, police departments stopped in the mid-2000s, stopped using dark-colored tasers. They're either bright yellow, bright orange, yellow with stripes on them, something like that. And the reason why is they adapted to, you know, a police officer saying that they grabbed their actual firearm instead of the taser. Now, this is the thing. And I know we've all seen this on different videos, so you should look this up and look up some police videos, man, where a police will say, stop resisting, and the person is completely calm and handcuffed. But the police will continue to say, stop resisting. He's saying stop resisting for the camera. This is for the camera, the judges and the jury. Because when the jury sees it and hears it, they're gonna say, well, this suspect was doing something, because the police is saying, stop resisting. Why would he say, stop resisting, if the person was not resisting? But on countless videos, you can see the person is completely subdued, on his stomach on the ground, while the police is saying, stop resisting. This is a tactic that the police use, and they use it all the time. You understand? Another one they use is, stop going for my gun. Stop going for my gun. I've seen more than 10 videos. I just don't have the time to show them all right now. More than 10 videos where the police was saying, stop going for my gun, and the person was handcuffed. Stop going for my gun. Stop going for my gun. Because it was another camera, unexpected to the police officer. So if the camera is behind him or he has the camera on, he can do certain things to point that camera in a certain direction where you don't see it, but you hear him saying, stop going for my gun. This is the same reason how you'll get when the black man was murdered and he was handcuffed in the back of a police car. He was going for a gun. How? How was he going for a gun? Police have been caught on thousands upon thousands of occasions lying and embellishing the truth. On multiple videos we've seen, I forget the brother's name, but they said the brother was coming towards them and they had to protect themselves to shoot the brother. But years later, we saw the video where the brother was going away from them. I forget the brother's name. But the point is, the police say things on videos that are not true. Now, this police officer had that weapon out for at least a minute and a half because she was standing behind the police officer. We all saw it. With the gun pointed, she was standing behind the police officer who was dealing with the brother getting in the car. He was dealing with him. He was ready to pull him out the car. He was dealing with him. She said, I'm going to tase you. I'm going to tase you. Taser, taser, taser. The officer moves out of the way. She shoots. Oh, it's my gun. That's theatrics, man. A taser, as I said, in coloration, is very light. It's very not transparent, but illuminative. Like the type of yellow or the type of orange that kind of glows, like you'll see construction people at night wearing those, and there's a reason for that. The weight from a 9mm automatic and a taser is very different. The feel is very different. It's a cartridge about that big because it has two prongs. And those prongs are propelled out of the cartridge with a wire behind them. They puncture the skin, and the bulbs then deliver the electricity through the wire. There's a lot of wire wound up in the cartridge. So it's about that wide. The muzzle of a 9mm, about that wide. How you would mistake the two, I don't know. The weight differential, the battery in the stun gun is heavy. It's bottom heavy. It's heavier than the bullets in the actual live 9mm weapon. Oh, what you got, little man? That's right. How old are you, brother? 8 years old. An 8-year-old knows the difference in the way policing is done in America between black people and every damn body else. An 8-year-old, but your pastor don't. Your pastor don't have the clarity of an 8-year-old child, man. Because he's gonna say he shouldn't have ran. Black people don't run. I mean, white people don't run from police. They don't run. I've never seen that before. White people always capitulate. Get out of here, man. There's been white people with guns, active guns, and they're able to take them. The white person came out with a bomb and was shot in the leg. And every time they kill one of us, they say, well, we not trained to shoot the maim. We're not trained to shoot the hurt. We're trained to kill and to stop. But they shot that white man in the leg. They preserve life for their people.
actually ran from him so you can get a little distance.
Because if a person is actively fighting you and you have your firearm, they can get your firearm. So in order to preserve his life, he retreated. There's clearly a difference in the way we're treated and the way they treat themselves. Clearly. But again, your Christian pastor will always say there is no difference. It's black people's fault. Don't do no crime because white people don't do crime. White people don't get high. I ain't never seen no white. Look, you can go and look up FBI crime chart 67. I always say go to that because those are the actual crime statistics by race. White supremacists always tell this lie about 13% of the population black people, they do 60% of the murder. That's a lie. White people do more murder and more criminal acts, rape, especially if you break murder down by category: matricide, fratricide, genocide. White people have done the most murdering, the most raping in America, is proved by their own FBI statistics. And not only that, the murder that they do to us, well, that's not in those statistics because they don't consider murdering us murder. The murder of Michael Brown is not in those statistics. You understand? The murder of Freddie Gray, that ain't in those statistics. Flint Castile, that ain't there, brother. It just ain't there. So the statistics are way off, way off. But as a black man in America, you can't get away with a crime. We can't get away with any crime. There's cameras all over our neighborhood. They patrol more in black communities than they did in Vietnam. That's an actual fact. I read that. Give me Lamentations 4 and 18, brother.
Lamentations chapter 4, verse 18.
Go ahead.
They hunt our steps.
They hunt our steps, man. They hunt us. They actively hunt us. That cop that shot Dante Wright, she was on the force. She was a 20-year veteran without a kill. A 20-year veteran without a kill. How can you be a 20-year veteran and you never use your skills to murder a black man? Surely there's a black man that needs to be murdered. Surely. She just hadn't found the right situation yet. Surely there was a black man that could be murdered. All it takes is a situation. That's what we don't understand. See, we think that the wretched are the righteous. That's the problem. We think that these people aren't looking for a way or a reason to murder us. All they need is, I was in fear of my life. That's it. It doesn't have to be an actual moment of where their life is actually in peril. It doesn't have to be that. They only have to perceive a perilous situation and say, I was in fear for my life. That's enough to get them off of any murder beef. There is no Caucasian that's going to sit on a jury and give a damn about a black life over the life of one of their police officers that protects and serves them. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. How do we know these things? Is there a difference between black cops and white cops? Huh? Is there a difference between that? We're going to get that in a minute. Read on.
It's not our steps, and we cannot go in our streets.
We can't go in our streets, man. We can't go in the damn streets. We can't even be in our own damn house without them murdering us, man. Every black business is about to become very profitable. It's about to become very profitable. Because in a few seconds, we ain't gonna be able to go out there at all, man. Like, they are going to terrorize the hell out of us. Like, black people, we always think, well, if the police gets found guilty in the case of George Floyd, then they ain't gonna do it again, because they gonna know that, you know, people looking at them through a microscope. It happened in Minneapolis while they were in court dealing with the murderer of George Floyd. This woman came and murdered Dante Wright with a oopsie. With a oopsie. The police chief came out without any investigation at all and said, she made a mistake. I can see that she made a mistake by the tape because of what she said. The hell with what she said. Is it logical? Is what she did logical? Can she have a live round pistol in her hand for a minute and a half? You know, forget about the theatrics. It was going, everything was going fast. She was afraid. Get out of here. The boy was trying to flee. He wasn't coming after them. They were the aggressors. They were aggressively trying to engage him. He was trying to get the hell away from them for whatever reason. I don't know why. The boy wasn't a criminal. He had a misdemeanor damn warrant on a marijuana ticket. A marijuana ticket. Now, she holding that firearm in her hand, which is all the way black. All the way black. You mean to tell me it's right in front of her face? She aiming down the barrel and didn't notice that it wasn't bright, illuminated freaking yellow? Is that what you want to tell? A trained 20-year veteran who trains people. I'm going to tell you what it was. This is my opportunity. It was her opportunity. She on the streets 20 years without a kill. Now she got that kill. Retired with her pension. She's retired with her pension. While Dante is in the damn dirt. Because they haunt us. They haunt us. Read on.
Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled. For our end is come.
And look, our end, our damn end has been happening for a long time. And we don't see it. The problem is why it keeps happening. Why it won't slow down. Because we keep doing the same damn thing and listening to the same damn people. All the love, and we got the love, and we got to forgive, that got to go out the window, man. The marching, and that got to go out the window, man. The looting, that got to go out the window, man. Even though I don't even believe it's us out there looting. Because we mixing all up with the same people that's killing and murdering us, and of course they'll set us up. We already know through the summer the FBI investigating white supremacist group, infiltrating Black Lives Matter and all that nonsense to continue to blame and destroy us. Because now when you're saying, oh, people looting, they forget all about the brother that was just murdered. They haunt us, man. Our end is near. We still can't see the logic of an 8-year-old child. Read on, brother. Where we at? Oh, 17. Okay. Let's get Isaiah 51 and 20. Yeah, what time is it? 8. Dang, it's almost 8:30. Go ahead.
It's like what you the Christian pastors, these black leaders, they don't point out the fact that the brother Ryan, right? Not realizing psychology that, like, this is why our ISUPkbmore is so important too, because we teach brothers how to handle those situations when we're in the midst of being pulled over by the police. This brother, it's a trial going on for the police killing their brother. A few days ago, we just seen a lieutenant in the military. The psychology of that is, these people were trying to kill him. That brother was scared. He was scared for his life, man. And everyone expects him to act rationally, but the police can act irrationally, and it's okay. They're trained professionals and do not act according to their profession.
Well, that small part right there, I'm gonna have to disagree with. They do act according to their profession. Not that you was wrong, you was just not thinking on that course. But I can tell you this. They act according to the profession that they were given. They were given a task. They were given a quota. That task and that quota is to corral black people, to make us available for exploitation. This is the reason why the police are on the street, not to protect and serve black people. To protect and serve is a blanket term. A blanket term that's saying that these police officers' job is to protect and serve every American. But we know who the real American is by their history, we know, and by what we see every day and what we go through every day. We know who the actual real American is that they're talking about. The same one they spoke about in the Constitution. When they say all men, they're speaking very specifically about themselves. Go ahead, little man. What you say? What you say? You had a question? Speak up a little louder. That's right. That's right. More than 100 kills of us. But I'm gonna say this. That's what we call propaganda. Is they have lifted up and put out, and the police are the savior of their people. They do save their people. They do protect and serve white America. We shouldn't even expect to be counted in with that number. What, because we pay taxes? They've been robbing us for 400 years. They take our taxes. Man, we pay more taxes, especially property taxes per capita, black people do. And have our houses taken from us whenever, our neighborhoods uprooted and moved for whatever, when whatever, why, for whatever purposes of gaining money and innovation that white folks have. They do just any goddamn thing they want to do. All right, you're right about that. You're right about that, young man. Let's get our Isaiah 10 and 1 real quick. No, Isaiah 51 and 20. It's like
Isaiah chapter 51, verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets.
Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets. That's our sons, man. Black and Hispanic. MS-13. The Bloods. The Crips. Destroyed in the mind. Thinking like the oppressor. Using the same propaganda that they use to say police are heroes. they use to say all black people are criminals, man. The same propaganda machine. Our sons are at the head of all the streets, man. Why? Because that's where America needs them to be. Available for exploitation and terrorism. Available to be marketed, to squeeze the maximum amount of profit that they can get out of black babies. They actually count the amount of money that's generated from young black men going to jails and prisons, from juveniles and into manhood. Some counties in America are funded strictly by arresting black men and women, man. And the slavery that goes along with it. Remember, slavery was only abolished if you're not convicted of a crime. And just so happened, black folks became a criminal race. Made America trillions in their stock markets with their accounting firms. They have jobs with benefits and good pay, so they live a hell of a good life, man. Being COs and police officers and judges and correctional officers and parole officers. These all went to the Irish and the Italian to make these people live a decent life, man. In a decent neighborhood with a good life. Their families protected, their children protected. Children don't have to work. They get the benefits from the parents. They're able to go to college and families move up. Every generation. They leave their property and their wealth to their children. You know what we got? Projects. Projects that belong to them. These correctional officers, they're able to put their 401ks into private businesses and make all kinds of money for their retirement and benefits, man. And they do all of this off of the backs of our black babies, man. Putting them in prison, working them for peanuts, generating money for the state and the federal government, pushing that money around. Just like they did during slavery, they maximized every penny a black man was worth. They do the same thing today with the prison system. Oh man, it's almost 8:30. Let's get that video. Let's get that. Let's finish off that.
Isaiah chapter 54, verse 20.
Yeah.
The sons of Fanny, they lie at the end of all the streets, as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy God.
They full of the fury of the Lord, like a wild bull in a net. That's why Dante pulled his hands down. He full of the fury of the Lord, man. He tired of being punked. Tired of being treated like a piece of crap, man. Tired of being manhandled and ain't do nothing. I'm driving, I didn't do nothing. Why I gotta be treated like this? Dante had to be treated like that. Dante had to be murdered so that white folks could have a good pension and a good life and a good job, be comfortable, at peace, and safe in their homes. That's why Dante was murdered. Read on, brother.
Verse 21. Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Verse 22.
Good night. God, afflicted and drunken and not with wine. Why is an 8-year-old able to see with such clarity, man, that wow, the police, they don't treat white people like they treat black people. I see a stark, deep division. I can see. Why does he see it, but your pastor can't? Why does he see that level of clarity, but a grown, experienced man who claims to love God and have the Spirit of God can't understand that simple truth? Read it again.
Isaiah chapter 51, verse 21. Therefore hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine.
Because this young man is sober. He's sober. He can see. He understands. He's not deluded by Christianity. He's not deluded by Islamism. He's growing up with his father. You understand? And he's able to have some clarity in the Lord, man, an 8-year-old, that can clearly see that there's a difference and there's something wrong with this society. But your pastor is drunk. You know what he's drunk with? Sin. He's drunk with sin, man. He's drunk with wanting to have sex with your wife. Homosexuality. He's drunk with the culture of the oppressor. He's drunk with the money that he gets every goddamn on Sunday when he passed that plate around 4 and 5 times. He's drunk with it. So he gives you drunken lectures and drunken sermons and drunken advice to love the people who are terrorizing and murdering us. Shalaki, let's get that video real quick. Play that second video. We're gonna go back in time a little bit to a brother that fought in World War II. He fought in World War II all the way up to the doors of Germany, man. All the way up to the doors of Germany. He came off the front lines, had his uniform on, went and got on a bus, and the police beat him half to death and took his eyes, both his eyes, for serving this country. Because in actuality, what they told, who was the brother that kept kneeling at the NFL game? Colin Kaepernick. What they told Kaepernick was a damn lie. Them people don't have no damn patriotism, man. They don't give a damn about you being in their army, man, or disrespecting their armed forces. This man was in the armed forces and fought and bled for America. He couldn't even sit in the front of a train. He was an officer. He couldn't sit in the front of the train and have dinner with the other officers, but the officers of the enemy, of the German officers, they could sit in the front and have dinner in the officers' mess, while black officers, they had to sit in the back or go outside and eat. What kind of respect is that for your armed forces, man? They took both of this brother eyes, man. Do you see the name of the brother up there? What was his name? I gotta stop getting names, man. I'm getting old. Man, don't worry about it. Go ahead and play the video. Isaac Water, I think. Water. Isaac Water took both his eyes, man. Go ahead and play that video.
Woodard then sat down and told the story of his blinding. in a sworn affidavit.
The policeman asked me, was I discharged? And when I said yes, that's when he started beating me with a billy, hitting me across the top of my head.
This is Isaac
After that,
talking
I grabbed
about
him,
his
but he
blinding,
wrung it
what the
out
police
his
did to
hands.
him, man.
Another policeman came up and
Isaac
threw his
Woodard.
gun on me, told me to drop the billy or he'd drop me, so I dropped the billy. He knocked me unconscious. He hollered, "Get up." When I started to get up, he started punching me in the eyes with the end of his billy.
NAACP officials, they were moved by this, like everyone was moved by just the tragedy of it. In addition, the NAACP leadership was always on the lookout for cases of injustice that they could use to really dramatize the nature of the Southern racial system. For African Americans around the country, to get them to support the NAACP's work, and for white people,
I think it go on a while.
to make them understand what's really going on.
Okay, that's what's up. So, this brother had on his uniform, Isaac Woodard had on his uniform because he thought it meant something to the oppressor. I got on my uniform. They respect men in uniform who fought for this country. The oppressor respects that. This is what Isaac Woodard thought when he was on that bus. He didn't understand that they respect their people, not him. Even though we put our life on the line to preserve their way of life, and their way of life is exploiting and murdering us for profit. That's their way of life. We fight for their way of life. Isaac Woodard didn't understand that those white police officers did not care about his life. It meant nothing to them that he was on the front line in World War II. You know how I know this? You know how I know? That they didn't give a damn. Isaac Woodard had on his uniform, his army uniform. He was decked out. He had his shoes shined up. He was proud to have served this oppressor. The oppressor didn't give a goddamn about his life. Not only that, in fact, it infuriates them that he had on that damn uniform. They wanted to murder him. How do I know? How do we know that that's the truth? Because it's still happening today. Play the second video, brother. This just happened last week. Brother have decked out in his fatigues, in his uniform, shined up, just got him a new truck on his Navy account. You understand? Getting down, blowing it out. I think he is sergeant or say he's something in the military. Yeah, he thought that they was gonna give him a courtesy and respect. He had on that uniform and he kept saying out of the window, "Is this how I'm treated for serving this country?" He thought that was gonna mean something, Matazabai. That's what he thought. You got it loaded? All right, let's get it in.
Pulled over because he had no visible license plate, Army Lieutenant Karan Nazario was clearly worried about what could happen to him if he got out of the car.
I'm honestly afraid to get out.
Temporary tags on Nazario's new SUV were taped to the back windshield, something the Windsor, Virginia police officers had apparently overlooked.
Get out of the car now!
I'm serving this country and this is how I'm treated?
Get out! Get out!
Officer Joe Gutierrez, who was fired Sunday for his role in the incident, responds by using a phrase referencing death by electric chair.
You're fixing to ride the lightning, son.
The situation escalates from there.
Hold on. Just get out the car. I'm trying to breathe. That's up. That's
Get out of the car now!
Nazario eventually exits the SUV.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground now!
Can you please talk to me? Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
It is a sad commentary that when a African American male who is in uniform.
Sad, man. Yeah, it's finished. And you switch it back over. Video. So the brother, I'm back up. So the brother thought that they was gonna give me some type of courtesy, some type of respect for this uniform that I have on here. They're certainly not gonna tarnish the uniform by beating me and assaulting me. They're not gonna do that. Right, Matazabat? They're not gonna do that. Did you hear what the police said? The white young police? He said, boy, you fixing to ride the lightning, boy. You fitting to ride the lightning, boy. Personally, I don't know what that means. Is you know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
The reporter explained, she said that's a phrase that they use talking about death by electric chair.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when he said it, that's when he pretty much was he confirmed that he's going to get the electric chair. That's when he said death by electric.
Right. And it was another reporter that said something about it means stunning somebody, and whatever the case, he threatened him. You threatened a person that's actively protecting your country and your family. I don't see the military as protecting me, per se, me or my family, because I know that the military is not there to actively protect or give a damn about me. Because I know this much. If a black man was in a foreign country, kidnapped or something to that nature, the government ain't gonna give a damn about one black man. The government is not. I don't see the army as being particularly there to support me, but it is definitely there to support the oppressor in his way of life. His way of life is the dominant way of life in America. His culture is the dominant culture in America. The homosexuality, the murder, the women on stripper poles, the prostitution, the child trafficking. Ain't it a prominent Republican, going down for child trafficking, along with all the other people that was with the person who went down for child trafficking? This is their culture. And they are the dominant ones in the culture. The police, the army, they support and defend the culture of white supremacy and everything that comes along with it. The homosexuality, the child rape, the eating any daggone thing, bestiality, all of this goes into the culture of America. The colleges, the Greek fraternities, with the deep ingrained homosexual activities that they do in those fraternities, man. This is their culture. They fight to protect it. The brother did not understand that they have no respect for him. They threatened him, they smacked him, they took pepper spray and just stood there and sprayed it in his eyes. Why? Was he being aggressive? Was he trying to jump out the car and do something? No. There is a clear and concise way that the authorities treat the oppressor and the way that they treat blacks and Hispanics, man. Let's get these last scriptures, because I lacked on scriptures all day going night. Let's finish that up. Where we at? Go ahead. I ain't want you to talk too much anyway. Go ahead. Did we go down to 23? Yeah, go down to 23.
Let's say it like Lord, and like God that gives the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thy hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again. Verse 23.
Go ahead, finish it up.
But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which has said to thy soul, bow down, and we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street to them that went over.
Good night, man. Lord. How was the brother George Floyd laid down in the street, man? Rolled over, trampled on until he was murdered, man. That's how we were made to live in America. But there is going to come a time where they're going to be trampled down underfoot, when they're going to be used, abused, and available for exploitation. There's going to come that time. The Lord's fury is not going to be on us forever. Time is short. That's why all of these things are happening. And this is why the Lord is opening up our eyes at this time, man. It wasn't our fault all that time. Mass incarceration was not our fault. Stop and frisk was not our fault. We were trampled underfoot, laid down in the street to be written over, destroyed, and discarded. Being exploited, brother, is a heavy goddamn thing, man. To produce for a people that hate us and have to smile every day in their goddamn face, and have to accept the vile lies of our leadership that's telling us it's our fault that we're being treated and done this way. Hey, if you talk to a pastor about, well, these people put tons of dope in our communities, took our jobs, our way of life, put us and packed us like sardines in goddamn ghettos, they'll say, well, they didn't make you do the drugs. That's the devil, man. That's having the mindset of our oppressors of the devil, man. Give me a time check. 42. I'm gonna go ahead and end the class. We started a little late, you know. And the point of it is this, man. The clarity of an 8-year-old, we need to keep that. And we need to understand the truth. The truth of the matter is exploitation, murder, and destruction that have happened to our people at the hands of this vile dragon, man. With that, I pass the class over to Precinct Officer Mataza Bob Moss.
Security announcements. We had an ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York.
Once Walter White.
New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6 months period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi 3, verse 8 through 10, means 10th in Hebrew, and is pronounced Mayashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation. You know, we got the Passover, the 24th of this month. It's not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, you understand, down in Houston, Texas. You understand, we're going to be getting it down there, you feel me? So, you ever made your arrangements, you feel me? Get on it ASAP. You see what I'm saying? Remind Akim and Akwatim to check on social media such as Isupkbmore, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for Isupk events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we're going to give a one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel, Amadia, which means stand. Amadia Shabbat, Amadia, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah,
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Daniel Matah, class dismissed.
Like a sideshow, and no part broke. Now I'm set by the rhythm man blue on this Picasso. Rep with no cause, trying to find direction. The world got the vex, picked up a bed, they can't have that's a better heard from oppression. But like my life was on fire, trying to find the exit. Now look, TG plus a good break. Sometimes follow what is a soldier, trying to find a good ship. Plus you hell, how do you tell? With the breath of life, I believe in fairy tale. Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain. Something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord? Got a tongue like a two-edged sword.